So I had already recorded audio for a video talking about this kind of stuff going on before the convention that showed off this new information. But then, I was just thrown a complete curveball, so I pretty much have to scrap all of the stuff that I did before, which is only about 10 minutes or so of audio. And we're going to be talking about this new trailer that dropped for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. So this trailer goes over the characters for parts 4, 6, and 8. And, they showed off little montages showing, part 4 characters, part 6 characters, and part 8. And then we get the new characters. Those new characters being Yukako, part 4 Jotaro, and Foo Fighters. So I don't really have any strong opinions on Yukako. I think that she's a perfectly fine addition. Part 4 Jotaro, on the other hand, is a bit weird. It's kind of weird that they're, bringing this character back when really they should have just made him an alternate costume for normal Jotaro because there's really not much a difference here. Like, he had some different animations in Eyes of Heaven, but that's about it. Everything else was pretty much identical. I mean, I guess the 5 people who really wanted it will really like it. Like, oh, yay, part 4 Jotaro. And, I guess we have multiple versions of different characters, and they have slightly different abilities, so I guess part 4 Jotaro is fine, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's on the same level as something like New Moon Pucci or Alternate Universe Diego. Like, it seems like the kind of thing you could have just made an alternate costume with alternate voice lines and ended at that. But I guess it's good that it's there. Foo Fighters, however, is a very pleasant surprise. Well, not really a surprise, because I think we all knew that at this point Foo Fighters would be coming. As soon as they showed off in the initial trailer that they're going to have a stage based on the farmhouse from part 6, I was like, okay, yeah, no. She's obviously in this game. Like, either as DLC or in the base game or whatever. She has to be in this game. So it's not really a surprise that she's here, but she's still a great addition. I think a lot of people really, really wanted her in the game, so it's nice to see that she's there. The trailer then ends with a scene revealing Bao, so, I mean, we already knew that Bao was coming back to the game, so, it's kind of pointless, I suppose, to just have this little reveal here, but it's nice. It's nice that Bao is being acknowledged. Would have been nice if Bao was shown in the roster reveal image at the end there, but, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Later that same day, we also got a trailer showcasing Jolene, Hermes, and Foo Fighters, just sort of like a, hey, look at them, they're beating up Poochie, and, the part 6 anime adaptation part 2 is coming out, so you better get ready for that. I mean, it's a little hard to get excited for it because they're going to release it all in batches instead of on Fridays, but, get excited for it. So this reveal trailer is a complete curveball for most of the speculation that I've been having for this game. It blows a lot of the assumptions that I've had about where this roster is going to be going completely out of the water. For starters, it seems that we are getting absolutely 100% new characters alongside all the returning characters for the base roster. I figured that we'd just be recycling characters from Eyes of Heaven and assets from Eyes of Heaven, but I guess we're just getting completely new characters with this, which is kind of, like, I'm of two minds of this. On one hand, it's nice to know that it won't just be recycled content. We're going to be getting completely new stuff, new models, new voice acting, new animations. Well, we've already been getting new animations, but you know what I mean. On the downside, it means that certain characters might not be making it in for the base roster. Like, this is especially compounded with the fact that they're showing off parts 4, 6, and 8 in this trailer, which implies that part 5 is going to have a section all on its own. So, with there being, 3 more characters on that roster image that they showed at the end of the trailer, it seems that those last 3 characters are going to be entirely from part 5. So we're not getting any more characters from parts 2 or parts 8. I mean, best case scenario, we'd have to wait till the DLC for anything like that, which, kind of sucks. I really wanted Stroheim to come back and be in this game, but considering that we got Speedwagon and Foo Fighters, I can deal with it, but it still kind of sucks that we're not getting Stroheim. It also sucks that we're not getting any Part A characters at all, because this pretty much means that Joshu won't be returning, at least for the base roster. Now, I was of two minds of this for a while. Like, will they keep Joshu around, maybe, or will they replace him with Toru? And I think the answer is they're just not going to have any more Part 8 characters, and they're not going to do anything to Gappy to make him different based on what happened in the 10 plus years or so that the original All-Star Battle game came out. So, it kind of sucks they're not doing anything different. We're not getting any Part 8 characters in the base game. But I guess that means that DLC is ripe for the picking, I was already kind of saying that Toru was likely for DLC if he wasn't in the base game anyway, and same with Stroheim. I figured, Stroheim's got to be in this game. He's not just going to be completely cut out of it, and, it seems like he's just going to have to be DLC. But no, I think those are both characters that'll come as DLC, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how that pans out. So as for who these Part 5 characters will be, it seems that we already know 2 of them. We know that Trish is coming to the game, we know that Prosciutto is coming to the game, thanks to those leaks several months back, but that still leaves one character left, so a big question mark that we have no idea about. And if I had to put any money on it, I would say that character is Abakio. Because, they've already established that they're adding, a few new characters. Prosciutto is a completely new character, though his model and maybe some animations come from Eyes of Heaven. But I could see, if there's one more character that they have to show off, I could see that easily being Abakio. Because I think I mentioned this before, but they tried to get him working in Eyes of Heaven, but unfortunately they couldn't. They just couldn't figure out how his stand would work in that kind of arena environment. So, having a one-on-one fighting style game, I think they could actually make him work. And, if all these characters are coming from Part 5, that's the character who I think is most likely. Now, of course, there are other characters that they could use from Part 5, such as Risotto Nero or Ghiaccio, or maybe even Chocolata if they're feeling particularly bold about it. But I think Abakio, at the end of the day, is the most likely addition. Now, of course, you hear me talking about that we only have 3 new characters and they're all from Part 5, so I think you're thinking that this is me going all in on the idea that we're going to be getting only 50 characters for the base game, not including Bao. No, nothing's changed about my predictions. I still think we're getting 53. I still think the PlayStation app trailer is the more accurate one, especially because of some new evidence that came out supporting the idea that we're going to be getting New Moon Pucci. It was really quick, but during the trailer, when they were showing off Pucci, they showed off that he has a GHA now with Whitesnake, which he didn't have before. His whole gimmick, if you recall, was that he would, have the 14 phrases meter, and he would have to build up to awakening the green baby and getting Sea Moon, and from there he gets to Made in Heaven. So he didn't have a GHA of his own. His entire kit was about keeping people away and reciting the 14 phrases and all that. So it's kind of weird that he would have a GHA instead of just having that, because, that's his entire kit. So this really strongly hints at the idea that Pucci is being split into 2 types. You got Whitesnake Pucci, and then you have New Moon Pucci, who can reach Made in Heaven. So with New Moon Pucci being another character that they're adding, it seems that the true final roster will be closer to the 53 that was shown in the PlayStation trailer. So that pretty much still means that the PlayStation trailer is the definitive final base game roster. We're getting 53 characters, and those extra characters will be New Moon Pucci and Alternate Universe Diego. Now, on the topic of Alternate Universe Diego, some people in the comments section mentioned to me at some point that they think that Alternate Universe Diego isn't coming to the game, mainly because the render that they use for Diego is the same render that they used in Eyes of Heaven for Alternate Universe Diego. So the logic here is, because they didn't use the Scary Monsters render for this Diego, that they have no plans of putting Alternate Universe Diego into the game. They haven't put him in or anything. It's just, he's not coming in. Which I disagree with, because, well, mainly, it's just a render. The render was pretty much untouched from Eyes of Heaven, so, if they ever wanted to swap the renders out for any reason, then they obviously could. It'd be trivial for them to do so. Now, there's also the fact that when Diego was revealed for Eyes of Heaven, they used that same render, and they later switched it out when they finally revealed Alternate Universe Diego was coming to the game. Now, I've heard the counter argument that, well, that was done for Eyes of Heaven because they didn't, like, they were still developing the game and they didn't have Alternate Universe Diego made yet, so they used that render for Scary Monsters Diego because that was going to be his final render. But then once they added in Alternate Universe Diego, they're like, shit, we gotta make a new render. And then they just did. I don't know. That seems kind of far-fetched to me. Like, and it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with what they're doing now. I mean, if both these renders are made and they have to do minimal touch-ups to pretty much nothing to make them work for All-Star Battle R, I mean, I don't see this being a problem, and I don't think it's indicative of any, intentions regarding who's getting in the game or not. Like, whether Alternate Universe Diego is actually going to get in the game or not. It just, I don't know, it seems a little far-fetched, and it seems like trying to spot patterns where there are none, which is a common thing with like speculation in certain scenes. Like, correlation does not always imply causation. You can't say that because they're using this render of Diego instead of the Scary Monsters one, then Alternate Universe Diego just isn't coming to the game. Like, they can't switch the renders out. They don't intend to switch the renders out, so they're just like, whatever, we'll just use this. I don't know. I don't buy that. I spent enough time in Smash speculation to kind of hone in on the fact that this kind of stuff typically never pans out, so it's best not to go in that direction. So anyways, yeah, I still think that the final roster of the game is going to be 53 characters for the base game. It's been confirmed that all the DLC characters will not count towards the base game roster total. So, I mean, 53 characters for the base roster, like over 50 characters, that's a pretty sizable amount of characters. I guess I should also touch on the JoJo Twitter account, because ever since the Street Date trailer, the JoJo Twitter account has been uploading character trailers it used to be every weekday, but now it's only every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Funnily enough, I recorded my video on the 29th, and I figured that we would have to wait until the 1st or maybe the 4th before we started getting new information. But then on the 30th, they just revealed Jolene's trailer, because, I mean, before then, I figured they would completely exhaust the number of characters from parts 1, 2, 3, and 7. But it seems that they just revealed Jolene, and then the following day, they're like, hey, we got a new trailer with all these new characters. So yeah, that's why I had to toss out most of my video. But I have been keeping track of the reveals on the Twitter account, and I've noticed a few interesting things. Namely, well, they release only Monday, Wednesday, Friday now, typically. They also seem to be entirely focused on character trailers, so it's likely we might not get like stage showcase trailers at all. And also, special events tend to coincide with certain reveals. So, like for instance, Bao was revealed on Araki's birthday, and Kakyoin was revealed on National Donut Day. So, yeah, it seems like certain dates are kind of important for some of these characters, whether for, meme value or, certain celebrations. So, as such, I predict that Funny Valentine's trailer will be the next one, and it'll come out on the 4th. Because it's the 4th of fucking July. I would have said President's Day, but then I looked it up, and President's Day falls on, like, February or March, so unfortunately they wouldn't be able to have the reveal fall on that day. And with that, I guess I've touched on just about everything that I wanted to touch on with this video. Yeah, there isn't really that much to speculate on since we're getting so close to the release date, and I think I've already touched on a lot of the major stuff. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shorter video. I know some people really wanted a longer video, but there's just not that much to say that hasn't already been said. But, there's still enough, which is why I decided to make this video in the first place. So, let me know what you think about this, and I guess I'll see you later or whatever. Alright, bye.